So I recently embarked on my very first 30-day no-buy challenge for clothes in particular. I decided that I wanted to do this no-buy challenge because I kind of noticed that I had been overindulging in secondhand clothes. The motto of my channel in recent years has been to buy less and wear more, and I felt like I'd kind of fallen off that bandwagon myself. I'm pretty good at not buying too many new clothes nowadays, but I did find that I had been overindulging in buying secondhand clothes. So I wanted to challenge myself and to kind of see what was brought up during those 30 days. So in today's video, the first thing we're going to be talking about is how hard was it really? Like, how hard was it for me to actually do this 30-day no-buy challenge? Then we'll be talking about the areas where I felt most tempted during the 30 days. And then I'm gonna kind of talk about what I learned during the process. And then I'm gonna let you know if I'm gonna do it again. And we're gonna finish up the video by me sharing 7 tips for you guys in case you are wanting to do your own 30-day no-buy challenge as well. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so how hard was it really for me to complete this? Well, personally, I'm the type of person that I really value sticking to my word. So when I say that I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. The other thing is that I let you guys know that I was doing it. I let Alex know that I was doing it. And once I tell people that I'm doing something, I don't want to let those people down either. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. So it wasn't actually that hard for me to complete the 30 days. That doesn't mean that I wasn't tempted throughout it. So I will talk about my temptations in a moment. But I just think I was way more scared than I thought I was going to be to do this. Just so weird. It's only 30 days. But yeah, it was probably easier than I thought it would. I also had a really strong why, and I think that that is a really important thing if you want to maintain it. So that would probably be my first tip to share if you're wanting to do this yourself. Okay, so there were 5 places throughout the 30 days where I felt most tempted. And what I did is I wrote down in the note section of my phone, just kind of like all the times where I felt the most tempted. So I kept like a little note. And I was seeing sales from ethical and sustainable brands and things like that. I would always click on them and look into them, and that is the danger. So I felt tempted there. I started just like deleting the emails without even opening them after a while because I didn't even want to see what I was missing out on. The second place I felt most tempted was on Pinterest. I do spend a lot of time on Pinterest because I have a business Pinterest account. I upload to Pinterest, share my blog onto Pinterest as well. So I need that for work, and yes, and everything I look at is to do with clothes as well. So that was a massive temptation of mine during the 30 days, is seeing things on Pinterest and trying to justify in my head that I needed those items as well. The third place that I felt most tempted was when I was bored. So I noticed that often when I'm bored, I just want to like mung out on couch for a bit and scroll. I'll open the Depop app and I'm just scrolling out of pure boredom. The fourth place was replacements. So I felt as though I was trying to justify replacing my underwear during this 30-day no-buy. I was like, I definitely need new underwear. Yeah, I definitely need new underwear. I didn't. Like, yeah, my underwear's like probably like needs replacing, but it wasn't like this thing that needed to be done then and there. I felt as though I was trying to justify needing new underwear just so that I shop and buy something, which was a bit alarming to me because I never thought that shopping for me was like an addiction. And I feel as though this has maybe made me realize that shopping does give me that hit and does give me that dopamine hit, and I need to be really careful of that. So I thought that was probably my most interesting thing that I noticed during the 30 days. And then the fifth thing as well, which kind of relates to this, was also buying items for my son. I was trying to justify my son needing clothes just so I could buy something, or just so I could look on Facebook Marketplace or pop into a charity shop. Oh, they might have something for Nate in there that he needs because he's growing out of things so quickly. So yeah, kind of always does need something. But once again, it was 30 days. I was setting myself to a challenge. I think this was just another thing that I was just trying to use to get myself shopping, you know? So next up, we're going to talk about what I learned throughout the whole process. And I've got 5 dot points here. Number 1, there were things that would have been an impulse buy if I hadn't been forced to stop and put that item on my wish list. So what I did throughout the 30 days was, if I felt as though I wanted to buy something, if I felt tempted by something, I would pop it on my wish list. I went back over that wish list, all the things that I popped on during those 30 days, and I realized that so many of them would have just been impulse purchases and they weren't really thoughtful or mindful purchases. A couple of them I've kept on there and I'm like, I still kind of want them, but I'm waiting. But that was probably the first thing I learned. Oh, sorry guys, my camera just died. Here we go. So the second thing that I learned was that I spent more time planning on where I wanted my style and my wardrobe to be rather than just grabbing random things here and there. So I actually had this little notebook where I was making a plan of like what I wanted my style to be and where I wanted my style to go. And I was thinking more about the items thoughtfully that I wanted to bring into my wardrobe rather than just grabbing random things here and there. And that is really how I want to be more going forward. I have been like that in the past, and I think I just kind of, like I said earlier, fell off the bandwagon with it. The third thing I learned is that I think it helped me get over the hamster wheel of buying too many secondhand clothes. So I was on, like I said, I was on that hamster wheel of buying secondhand clothes, and doing this 30-day no buy challenge definitely just helped me step off that and reflect on the time that I have spent overindulging in secondhand clothes. It's been 2 months now since I did the 30-day no buy challenge, and since then I've set myself pretty strict rules on buying secondhand items, and I've also been really conscious of opening the Depop app when I've been bored. I try to like force myself to go do something else and catch myself in my tracks before I open the app. Okay, number 4 is I'm now considering doing a 30-day no buy challenge every couple of months, just as a precaution to make sure I don't go back to over consuming. I think it was just a really good reminder, and if I can do it every couple of months to kind of just keep me in a place where I'm happy with my consumption, then why not? And it's also going to save me a bit of money, so I think that that's really good too. The fifth thing that came up for me is I didn't actually feel as though I lacked a fun wardrobe during the process. I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything. I was happy in the clothes that I wore. I didn't really need any of the things that I was tempted by. Maybe I wanted them, but I didn't need them. And you know, I lived to tell the tale. So yeah, I was happy with my wardrobe in the process, and I think that that's a good like eye opener to this whole process. Okay, so before I share my top tips for you guys, will I do this again? Like I said earlier, yes, I want to do this again. I want to bring this into my life. Right now, I'm kind of putting myself in a low buy challenge, but low buy all the time. So going back to my mantra of buy less, wear more, and see if I can make that a more permanent mindset for me, because I somehow just let myself fall back into the rat race of consumption. So what I will continue to do going forward is put things onto my wish list, which I've been really good at doing in the past, and that helps. And I always motorbike. I always feel as though my style is just better when I do that too, because I slow down and make plans, like I said earlier. So yeah, that is my plan going forward. Now I want to share with you 7 quick tips if you guys are planning on doing your own no buy challenge. So number 1 is to set clear rules. Pretty self-explanatory. Set yourself clear rules. For me, this no buy was for just clothing, whether that be secondhand or new. And now that I am in a more of a low buy challenge, I now have rules for how many secondhand items I'm allowed and how long things have to be on my wish list for before I purchase them. Number 2 is to keep a journal. I didn't do this until like a week and a half in, and I think it's just really helpful because you want to reflect and know what you've actually learned from it. So things that you want to write in this journal are like anytime that you feel tempted to buy something, and kind of just write it down and see what comes up for you. Number 3 is to unsubscribe. Pretty self-explanatory. Unsubscribe from emails, from people on Instagram that tempt you too much, from people on YouTube that tempt you too much, stuff like that. Number 4 is to remind yourself of your why. So make sure you have a solid why you're doing this. It could be for money, it could be because you're also noticed that you've been over consuming. So yeah, make sure you keep reminding yourself during the 30 days of your why, and that will help you get to the end. Number 5 is to find alternative activities to do instead of shopping. So if you notice that you shop because you're bored, or if you notice you shop as an activity or whatever with friends, then just figure out different things that you can do together, or figure out something different that you can do when you are bored. Number 6 is, this is something I didn't do, but it could be worth doing for you, is you can reward yourself. So have a reward waiting for you at the end of the 30 days. If you work well off rewards, reward yourself for the 30 days, not by shopping, like reward yourself with something else, like, I don't know, taking yourself out for a beautiful dinner or whatever. Number 7 is to tell someone about it. So I work really well off like having an accountability partner. I tell Alex so many things when I'm like trying to challenge myself to do something, because I want him to keep me accountable for actually getting it done. I also find that telling you guys is really helpful for me too, because I do not want to let you down. So tell someone that you trust that can keep you accountable if you are doing a 30-day no bar challenge as well. In next week's video, I'm going to be talking about the art of stylish and practical mum outfits, kind of my top tips for dressing as a mum and always keeping stylish but being able to move and breathe at the same time. So if you're interested in that, please do subscribe, and if you're still watching, like this video to support me. It helps so much with the YouTube algorithm. I really appreciate it. Very grateful for you watching today's video. Don't forget to spread kindness this week, and I'll see you in my next video.